G'day, McGlashan here for Club Marine TV, and today I want to talk about the fine art of boat maintenance. Sure, it's not as exciting as fishing or skiing, but there's an old saying that goes, look after your boat and your boat will look after you. And that doesn't just mean mechanically. Boats are a big investment, so it also pays off financially to look after them. You get a better resale value and reduce your risk of copping a big repair bill down the track. So let's take a look at some of the things every boat owner can do with a bit of TLC and elbow grease. Fiberglass and alloy hulls are amazing at combating the marine environment, but there's always a threat of rust, corrosion, rot, mould and oxidisation. After every trip, rinse your hull with fresh water. It's your first line of defence against the corrosive and abrasive effects of salt water. While you're at it, purge any trapped water, either by removing the bungs or pumping out the bilge. Rinse caked on mud off the anchor and chain, then hose out the scuppers and cockpit drains. Once a month, I like to give my boat a tub with warm soapy water to remove traces of fish blood, grease, oil and grime and dirt. Beyond that, I recommend a wax and a polish once a year. One thing to note, there are specific cleaners on the market for alloy boats. While that cleaning rag is out, don't forget the cabin. Otherwise, a primeval slime in the bilge can leave a foul odour, or worse, it can block your pumps. When it comes to canvas, you can use a light brush, mild soap and fresh water. Again, there are specialty products to keep your clears clear. A regular sponge wipe will prevent dirt and mildew attacking your upholstery. And be sure to towel dry the seats afterwards. Woodwork also needs protection from UV damage, a teak clean for example, and maybe some oil or a fresh varnish. Fresh water is actually the natural enemy of unprotected wood, causing fungal rot and swelling if it's left damp. A light spray of lanolin is fantastic to prevent corrosion and is certainly better than wrestling with corroded bolts or a broken fitting. Engine and electrical failures are the most common breakdown causes for powered vessels. That's why major servicing and repairs are best left to the pros. To start with, check your manufacturing servicing intervals. A basic service for a 4-stroke engine will include oil and filter change, new gear case lubricant, changing the fuel filter element, and possibly fresh spark plugs and water pump impeller. On top of that, they should inspect the sacrificial anodes and check the condition of the power steering and hydraulic trim fluid. Also keep an eye on your steering and throttle systems. If you check the gearbox yourself, you want to see good clear black or brown oil. If there are any shiny metallic particles, there's a good chance something is amiss. Propellers are magnets for attracting stray fishing line around the shaft. Also, a damaged prop can reduce a boat's performance and handling. Definitely worth checking and fixing or replacing if need be. When a marine engine has a problem, it's often related to fuel. Where possible, use fresh petrol or diesel and periodically check the fuel line. That includes the fuel filter, if you have one, to make sure there's no water in it. If there's one component that faces the perfect storm, it's the 12-volt battery. Make sure it's well secured, and that goes for the terminal connections too. A good quality battery charger can keep everything maintained between outings, although that doesn't mean you can artificially extend your battery's lifespan. Eventually you reach the point where your engine starts in the morning, but not later in the day, when you want to come home with a load of fish. Checking your navigation lights is another routine chore. While you're at it, run through the bilge pump by lifting the float switch, the bilge blower, the radio, the windlass, the thrusters, anything that can affect your boat's safety and handling. it obviously makes sense to carry spare fuses and the right tools. Don't just leave your safety equipment out of sight and out of mind. Flares and EPIRBs have a use-by date, while fire extinguishers and inflatable PFDs must be serviced at regular intervals. I'd add the boat trailer to that list too. Wheel bearings are obvious, but less so are tyres which may become cracked or develop flat spots. They need to be replaced every 3 to 5 years, regardless of how much tread is left. Trailer brakes should also be checked at least once a year or more often if possible. In order to stop, literally, first you need to start rinsing the brakes with fresh water after a dip in the sea. Disc brake pads or drum type shoes do wear with use, but you don't want corrosion speeding things up. There's also the brake fluid to check if your trailer has a reservoir. If it's low, look for leaks. Really, this is a huge topic and we have other videos on boat safety and maintenance at Club Marine TV. Definitely tune in to watch them. If there's one common rule, the best form of maintenance is to use and enjoy your boat as often as possible. If you spot anything wrong, then fix it immediately and you're way less likely to ever be caught short.